Hey, what's up, guys? Joe here, coming at you today with some Champions War League Light Week 1 action between Elite Gaming and CWC Brawlers. Anyways, so it was a pretty epic war. I mean, so many attacks to choose from in this video. I can't record all of them, or we'll be here for 30 minutes. But anyways, epic score, very close match. 70-70 was the final score. 20 and 23 stars on both sides, and it basically came down to percentage, with Elite Gaming coming ahead with a couple of percent. So basically, we're going to kick off with a couple of replays that are just the point, or the thing to walk away from this video is the surgicalness of each attack, the well-planned attacks, and how in-depth these guys get. And this is where, this is kind of where the CWL is the pros. I mean, these guys are the ones that we would like to emulate and become more like. So we're going to go ahead and kick it off first with Sharknado, Town Hall 10 versus Town Hall 10. And Sharknado comes in with a Penta La Lune on this pretty well-developed Town Hall 10 base. The defenses themselves are in between mid Town Hall 10 and not quite maxed. So he basically comes in with a Baby Dragon in the north going after the Town Hall and looking to get rid of the Clan Castle. So he's going to bring in a couple of Giants to distract while his Barbarian King works. And then the Archer Queen continues to maneuver down as they get closer to the Inferno Tower. So the Archer Queen is going to take out this Archer Tower over here in the northeast as the Barbarian King's ability is triggered, and he maneuvers and takes out structures going down the western flank. The Archer Queen is going to go into the base, into this Inferno Tower, and he's going to get a lot of value out of this Archer Queen by popping her ability, taking out the Tesla and the Inferno Tower, and then as she comes back to, she'll end up going down due to the Tesla. So the Archer Queen, or the enemy Archer Queen, is actually still up in the core of the base. And at this point, Sharknado is going to transition into the La Lune portion, bringing in two Lava Hounds into the Inferno, taking on that first air defense. He uses the haste spell to get those balloons moving into the Expo, or not the Expo, but the air defense, and then uses a rage to go directly into that Inferno Tower, having to use a freeze, basically tying in his Lava Hounds as he brings more balloons into the base. And this is what I like about what he does here. Very patient with his Lava Hound drops. He's not rushing the attack. As that other air defense is about to go down, he drops that next Lava Hound to tie into the third Lava Hound, picking up a lot of the bombs along the way, using another rage spell to rage up the balloons, going into 3 different defenses, and they maintain that rage for a little bit longer, going into a couple more defenses over there in the west, and then they'll finally kind of end up on this Expo. The Lava Hound, or the enemy Lava Hound from the Clan Castle, still kind of trying to figure out what to do next due to the fact that they do not attack air. So the one Lava Hound from Sharknado's Clan Castle does not pop, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's not really necessary considering the amount of lava pups that are still on the base from the previous Lava Hounds. So he uses his last haste to speed those balloons up and speed the process up of the cleanup, and ends up pulling off a very clean 3-star with the La Lune portion, or a Penta La Lune in this case, at Town Hall 10. So air still very viable. It is the meta right now. There's no other way around it. So Town Hall 10's, he is getting it done, and a great attack by Sharknado. So moving right along, we're going to transition into the Town Hall 9s. The Town Hall 9s were hot this war. They put on stars within the first couple of minutes of the war. With the first couple hours of the war, there was already like 60-some stars, or no, 40-some stars, and it was just pretty crazy. But David is very surgical in his attack, and I want you to take note of what he does, coming in with a Queen Charge to begin with, starting out with a Baby Dragon to work on structures to direct his Archer Queen, and a Wizard to assist with the Baby Dragon cleanup, getting rid of some structures around that Town Hall, and basically forcing his Archer Queen to go to the northeast of the base. So as the Wizards are just taking out useless structures over by the Town Hall, they will get picked off by the Archer Tower, and the Baby Dragon will go down. But at this point, the Archer Queen is pretty much guided that she is going to travel into the west, and that's basically what David wants her to do, as he drops the poison spell on the Archer Queen to start putting in some work on that Archer Queen. before his actual Archer Queen gets there, and he drops a rage, leading her into the enemy Archer Queen. So then he starts dropping in baby dragons, trickling them in around the base. He gets one over there in the far west to take out a couple more structures, and then the clan castle is actually triggered here. So then he drops his poison spell, and then he ends up having to use another rage and popping her ability, while at the same time dropping his Barbarian King and the bowlers from his clan castle over in the far eastern corner of the base, as they kind of tie in to that Archer Queen, using the bowlers to take out structures. That way the Archer Queen basically leads herself into this natural channel of this base. So basically what he ends up doing here, and what's very impressive, is the bowlers stay outside. No, nothing really special about the bowlers of what they're doing. They are taking out structures, and the Barbarian King's already put in a lot of work in that central compartment. But the Archer Queen has found herself into a natural path, and she's going to follow this path. He's going to use a rage spell to guide her down this path, taking out the X-Bow, taking out this cannon, and then continuing down to ultimately take out these two air defenses, as well as the air set X-Bow. So once those two air defenses fall and the Archer Queen takes out this X-Bow, it's really free reign for the rest of the baby dragons. So this attack strategy is very time consuming. However, when you can guide your queen in such a fashion to take out very critical defenses and help these, it basically frees up for nothing but spam at this point, which is the baby dragons. They do very well on their own, especially when they're spread out those 4 to 5 tiles and taking out structures on their own in rage. So plenty of baby dragons to get the job done here. The Archer Queen has cracked through that central compartment, and she's maneuvered in to assist the baby dragons with wrapping up this attack. So again, a great attack by David, just completely meticulously destroying the base, picking it apart. Very patient attack. So we're going to go ahead and move down to number 11, which is actually Invincible. I've shown multiple replays of Invincible in the past. Invincible comes in with another La Lune attack, strictly La Lune, no bowlers that I can recall from this attack, and basically takes on the clan castle and the enemy Archer Queen directly over there in the northern corner of the base, and rages up the Barbarian King to assist with taking care of that Archer Queen. He had a baby dragon and a couple of wizards assisting with that. He does take out an air defense with the Zap Quick technique, and basically starts transitioning into surrounding this base and flooding it with air troops. So the Archer Queen is basically having to use her ability, and is getting tore up by the X-Bow, which is set to ground mode, which doesn't really help in this fashion and opens everything up for an air attack. And so if you pay attention to what Invincible is doing, is he's actually tying his lava hounds into each other as they maneuver into different sectors of the base. So basically he ties in his final max level lava hound into the attack at the end, and starts transitioning a couple 2 to 3 balloons into each defense. And as they maneuver in, that max level hound is going to just hang out on that air defense. He doesn't have any more spells at this point in order to speed the balloons up. So the lava hound does pop, but the lava pups do take out the air defense. And so at this point, the balloons we're going to run into and take a lot of splash damage from the wizard tower. So he's going to lose quite a bit there in the core, but they do manage to get in on it, take it down, and they do take out the ground set X-Bow, no problems at all. And at this point, it's all cleanup, lava pups around the base, cleaning up the base. The balloons will go into the north and take out those high hit point structures in the elixir and gold storages, and it's just all cleanup. He saves one balloon for the back end to take out the builder's hut. So the builder's hut's in the corner is always a time issue for time, so it doesn't hurt to hold on to a couple of balloons and save them for back end cleanup. That way you can finish up the attack and not find yourself in a 99% situation. So another great attack by the Town Hall 9s and Elite Gaming. We're going to move down to number 12, which is actually Ashpack. Another great air attacker coming from Elite Academy 2. At one point, they're all officially Elite Gaming, but Ashpack again coming in with another great air attack just like Invincible, but he does manage to hold on to a couple of the ice wizards from the previous event. I guess he didn't use them. I don't know. Maybe he was just holding them for a special occasion like such, but he comes in with a queen walk, starting out with a queen walk, and basically what he'll do is he'll turn this queen walk into a Lune attack. So if you paid attention so far, each attack is completely different from each other. There's no set strategy. It's always some type of troops to take out certain structures, and they all tie into each other. So he uses a couple of wizards to assist the the ice wizards here to take out structures. They're going to follow this barbarian king down, uses a rage spell to take out the enemy barbarian king with his archer queen, and the barbarian king in the south will end up his ability will end up being popped here momentarily. Once this ice wizard falls, he'll have to use it in order to take out the cannon. So basically he gets that archer queen jumped into the next compartment, has to use a rage and a poison in order to take care of the enemy clan castle, and ultimately his goal is to get rid of this air defense. That is the target that he's mainly after, which will leave him with 2 air defenses. Now take note that he did not take out the enemy archer queen. The enemy archer queen is still standing, so it's not necessarily true that you have to take out the archer queen and the clan castle in order to be effective in this scenario. He uses his archer queen to walk down that compartment, and she'll break through this wall and then take out the archer queen. So obviously he comes in from a completely different sector than what most folks would do in this scenario, especially with this attack strategy. And as you can tell, he's got a baby dragon kind of taking out structures that are out of range of the expo and the air defense, and very patient with the attack. Once that archer queen falls, then he transitions into the Lune portion, dropping both of his lava hounds and his balloons. Now using a haste spell in the area where the Tesla farm is located, the archer or the balloons will take out the Teslas, and then he'll use a rage, and he drops the minions behind. So basically it ends up being a minion slash lava pup horde, which ends up assisting the balloons. The balloons aren't even having to do all the work, considering the amount of air troops here that are just swarming the entire area and just spitting on spitting on everything. Is basically what they do. They take out all these structures in a very quick manner, and if you paid attention to how he did it, he was patient, he wasn't rushing the attack, and he was just, everything had its place. So as that one finishes up at 100% as well, we are going to take a look at number 17. Let's see here, who hit 17? No, not 17. Let's see here. Okay, so Nick, this is a queen charge into Mass Valk. So again, completely different strategy, not an air attack. A couple of air troops for sniping. He drops a couple of minions around the base to take out structures that are out of range. Obviously, a cannon's not going to fire, but the archer tower will fire at the minions. So he checks all these targets and makes sure that they're out of range, and drops minions in places where they're going to take out and snipe off structures, getting a little bit more bang for his buck by one 2 housing troop. So then he starts with the archer queen down in the south, and she's going to transition and maneuver up the western flank here of the base. And then he starts a bowler walk over here in the westernmost corner, taking structures. So what he's doing here by starting a bowler walk is forcing his queen to not walk any further north. She's going to take structures here, and he's basically setting up the second side of the funnel there by using the wizards and the bowlers. And what he wants his Valkyries to do is go directly into this compartment here. He'll drop the rage spell in order to assist the Valkyries as they transition into this clan castle troops, as well as a heal spell, because the Valkyries put in a lot of work coming out of a clan castle. So do the baby dragon. So the Valkyries are very quick. They'll take out heroes in a couple of swings when they're grouped up like so, and they'll jump up into this northernmost compartment, taking on basically what was the Tesla farm. And he just has a couple of hog riders to just kind of trickle in from the back end. Not a whole group of them, but just enough to try to take out structures that he possibly missed by the Valkyries. Now, what he didn't anticipate there was that giant bomb next to that westernmost cannon here. So the cannon does end up being one of the last structures that ends up going down, but he did have a plan for taking it down. He just didn't anticipate a giant bomb there to assist with taking him out. So the Valkyries do end up flooding the entire base, and the healers, break away from the Archer Queen momentarily, but they do end up going back to her, and this basically transitions back into a Queen Walk, and so she follows down the rest of the flank. He uses another Hog Rider to take out and assist with taking out the mortar here, and then the Barbarian King actually splits in the Valkyries, and they go take over that cannon that was over in the western compartment. Ends up not needing this rage spell. It ends up being a swag rage. So another unique attack by a Town Hall 9 in Elite Gaming on a very interesting base design, split base with the Tesla farm up by the Town Hall, the Town Hall. So one more replay. We're gonna get one more replay. We're gonna try to get one more replay and see. We got John here. Yeah, John's was actually a really good replay as well. Different approach with air as well. So John comes in with a stoned golem, only one lava hound and 13 balloons, and I believe there's bowlers in the clan castle. But anyways, again, very patient attack here, using the minions to take out structures here, sniping off structures that are out of range of the archer tower. So when you're scouting a base, you want to make sure that you're scouting to see if you can pick off structures with small troops like the minions and the archers. So he comes in with a stoned, and basically what that is it's 3 golems. And when you bring 3 golems, it basically means that you're trying to get as much out of that kill squad as possible by having 3 tanks to block for everything else that's behind it, whether it be bowlers, wizards, or whatever. But anyways, so the Archer Queen actually kind of stays outside and does as she pleases. The enemy clan castle goes down due to the wizards and the poison spells, and the Barbarian King's ability is triggered there while he's still got a golem that's up there tanking. But the Archer Queen decides that she wants to end up moving north, and this actually kind of shows the patience of John here. John, you don't necessarily anticipate the Archer Queen staying outside, and I don't know whether he actually planned for that, but the Archer Queen stays outside, and she ends up going after this northernmost air defense. So, a 3rd air defense down and leaving 2 air defenses on the map, it basically makes it very easy for John to transition into the La Lune portion. But pay attention, he only drops 2 balloons here for this archer tower, 1 balloon for the cannon, knowing that the cannon's not going to disrupt his balloon. The balloon's just going to be able to go in there with no issues whatsoever and take out the cannon. And the Archer Queen will end up dying due to the Barbarian King. But anyways, he ends up transitioning and just very patient on the back end, letting the Lava Hound get in on the air defense and trickling in a couple balloons here and there, moving and just basically surrounding the air defense here. So once that air defense falls, unfortunately the Lava Hound doesn't pop, but there's still there's not a lot of structures that couldn't be taken out by the balloons. He has 46 seconds remaining in the attack. Then the balloons, they have so much power when they're grouped up like such. There's probably like 5 to 6 balloons in each pack right there. So they're just going to drop their their payload and maneuver on to the next structure. So once this, a couple of archers up here in the north taking out structures very slowly. 2 archers aren't going to really do a whole lot of damage, especially on a structure like the elixir storage. So very patient, and at this point you're kind of fingers crossed, hoping that you're not going to end up with a high percentage 2-star due to the speed of the balloon. So ideally you would like for that Lava Hound to pop. So the speed of the attack, when it comes to the stone golem, you're just getting so much out of that kill squad. And again, beautiful attack by John, another air attack, but only this time around bringing 3 golems opposed to 2. So I wanted to take one more, I did want to take a look at one more replay because we're going to get some hogs in there for you. So Rabel Stark actually comes in with a Gahobo, and so Hog Riders is really not as big as it kind of was. I mean, people are still using the Hog Riders, but the air is the meta right now. They are super strong, they're really fast, and they drop their payload really quick, so it makes them very easy to use for everybody. So Rabel comes in and addresses this base in a very interesting manner by coming in with 2 golems and a spread of wizards, taking out the structures. If you paid attention, he did take out these builders' huts and did pay attention to those, but brings in a P.E.K.K.A. And what he'll basically do is use this area here in the core as a natural funnel all the way through, using jump spells to guide his bowlers, the P.E.K.K.A, the Barbarian King, and his Archer Queen, as well as the golems, down through this area, basically taking out all of the point defenses. And what this ends up, opening up is the expos are focused in on the core. And so what this does is it opens up for the Hog Riders to take the flanks and move in and take out the structures as he starts to trickle in his Hog Riders all around the base. Ends up running into a Tesla farm around the town hall. The bowlers are still in the next to final compartment, but there's plenty of Hog Riders there to end up taking over the rest of these defenses over here around the town hall, and then they'll transition up into these last 3 remaining defenses. So again, just basically seeing the map, just basically zooming all the way out and seeing the base for what it is, making sure to pick up these structures over in the corners. These are very important structures because they can be time issues near the back end of a raid. The Archer Queen's assisting with cleanup. He brings 1 single baby dragon for assistance of cleanup. There's no other air troops around it, so it's going to stay enraged and take out structures as well as the group of Hog Riders that are in the north, just maneuvering back down and cleaning up these structures on the back end of the attack. So the best way to take this is, look at the base and see what troops can do what. Make sure to scout the structures and see if you can get snipes. And basically next week we'll be covering week 2. I hope to get week 2 in on the next round with the Elite Gaming and their week 2 matchup. So thanks for watching, guys, and you guys take care.